Let's reel in slabs like a pro and make your crappie dreams come true with these exclusive top tricks, tips, and techniques. You can get a 19-incher like this too. In the spring, pre-spawn location is everything for finding and catching the biggest slab paper mouths like this time of the year. During the pre-spawn, you want to target coves, creek mouths, and points that lead to spawning flats. These are all absolute gold mines for the biggest crappie in spring. And you want to be looking for areas with gradual depth changes, which crappie love because it makes their transition from winter deep water to spring shallows much easier. And if you're fishing in murky water, crappie will tend to stay close to the surface, whereas in clear water, they're probably going to be hanging out a bit deeper. So if the water clarity isn't really clear when you're fishing, consider starting with shallower presentations. And now's a great time to smash the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell to stay updated with all of our daily tricks, tips, and tutorials, and join our community of passionate anglers today. Okay, now let's get to the really fun part, making sure we're choosing the right baits and lures to slay slabs in spring. Small jigs are deadly for pre-spawn crappie no matter where you're fishing. We use a 1/16 ounce to maybe a 1/8 ounce jig head if you're in deeper water, paired with a small soft plastic skirt. Our absolute favorite is the green chartreuse, which is proven to work in any body of water and any water clarity. We also like pinks and whites. These are crappie magnets, folks, hands down, especially for big spring slabs. And don't be afraid to mix things up with your trailers. We use squirm and squirts, curly tails, grubs, and paddle tails with amazing success. And just as good as jigs in spring, if not even better, is a good old traditional live emerald shiner minnow under a fixed lightweight balsa stick bobber or a slip bobber for deeper depths. The real hack is to make sure that you hook the minnow up through the lips so that she swims more naturally and stays alive longer. And for those crappie fishermen who just like a little bit more action, you can certainly use small crankbaits and micro jerkbaits in fluorescent colors to trigger more aggressive bites. Crappie will hunt down and chase these lures, no doubt. But in early spring, pre-spawn colder water, we usually stick with jigs or live minnows under bobbers for the most consistent success. And always remember to fish in structure for crappie, around wooden docks, sunken trees, lily pads, and brush piles. Just use a weedless jig to avoid getting hung up and snagged in all that slop. Okay, now on to better understanding the crappie's behavior and patterns during pre-spawn. The more that we can think like a crappie, the more fish we're ultimately going to catch. During the pre-spawn, crappie are going to be moving from deeper winter hiding spots into shallower water into what will be their spawning grounds. And they're often going to be staging around this structure we just talked about, like submerged trees, sunken logs, brush piles, and drop-offs. And if you're out on a boat, you definitely want to be taking advantage of your electronics and your fish finder to locate crappie staging spots and structure spots near creek channels and ledges. And why does all this even matter? Because better understanding the crappie's mindset and migration patterns are going to help you better pinpoint exactly where to be fishing. How many times in how many videos have you heard us say to fish where the fish are and you'll catch more fish? So think of it like this. Would you rather have a front row seat in the ballpark or theater or be sitting way up in the nosebleeds where you can't see a darn thing? Put yourself in the best spot to catch more slabs because the spring bite is one of the best joys of crappie fishing by far. So let's make sure you've got this hands down, okay? Crappie and spring are still in transition, so you've got to focus on these brush piles and fallen trees and areas of cover in the 10 to 15 feet of water typically, and especially where the water depths change gradually. These are prime staging areas you always want to be targeting in spring. And here's another pro tip. On really bright and sunny days, crappie will often move closer to the water surface to soak up the warmth. So just make sure you keep an eye on the weather conditions and you adjust your strategy accordingly. Okay, now we know where the crappie are going to be and what we need to use to catch them. So now how do we do that? The right techniques matter, my fishing friends, especially during the pre-spawn to catch the biggest fish most consistently. So here are the most effective and proven techniques you've got to be using now. First is simply vertical jigging, where you drop your jig straight down near the submerged structure spots we've talked about and just use a slow and steady retrieve with pauses and occasional twitches and jerks to mimic wounded prey. This technique is always perfect when you're targeting fish in deeper water. Crappie feed upward, so watch your depth finder and don't be afraid to let it sink down, and many times they're going to smash it on the way up. Next is simply casting and retrieving, where you cast your lures near cover and retrieve them slowly. You need to add pauses and twitches now and again to mimic injured prey, and crappie just cannot resist an easy meal. And one of our favorite techniques to catch crappie year-round, especially in pre-spawn spring, is trolling. You can fish multiple rods at differing depths and use different color lures and profiles until you find out what's working best. This is going to let you cover much more water. Crappie are a schooling fish, so once you get on them, you can very well get multiple hookups at once when you get into a hungry school. Nothing more fun than that. Okay, we've saved the best for last. Lots of great hacks and secrets to help you up your crappie fishing game this spring so you too can land a trophy slab of your dreams. Timing's everything when you're fishing, especially in early spring. Early morning and late afternoon to dusk are prime feeding times for crappie. They're more aggressive in these low light conditions. If you're using live minnows like us, you want to keep them alive much longer for a full day of fishing. Make sure you got a good aerator pumping oxygen into the minnow bucket water, and you can add ice cubes in sealed baggies into the water to keep the temperature nice and cool. How do you catch the really big ones this time of year? Start by fishing deeper water first near spawning staging areas. This is where the larger female crappie are most often going to be. And don't be shy about using larger baits in there too. The bigger fish are hungry coming out of winter and packing on the pounds. Okay, that's it, folks. This is exactly how you catch more and bigger crappie in the spring before the pre-spawn. If you found these tips and tricks and techniques helpful, please make sure to like the video, share it with your fellow fishing friends, smash the subscribe button, and enable your bell notifications so you never miss out on our next valuable insights. Tight lines, folks, and we'll see you out on the water this spring real soon. Go get 'em, gang. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. Please like this video, hit the subscribe button before you leave, and don't forget to enable your bell notifications so you never miss another great video coming your way.